Because you know, in the 21st century, they done rewrote the game for black men. So in order to get successful today, you have to adopt an effeminizing disposition.
You better say that.
And so when you look at successful black men, media, music, politics, government, business, they all have a feminine pose.
You better say it.
Sisters know what I'm talking about. And this is why a lot of black women date thugs, even when she got a law degree. You got black women, licensed physician, dating a weed boy. Why would a licensed physician date Ray the weed man? I'll tell you why. Because the black woman is in search of masculinity. And if she cannot find it from a professional brother, she'll settle for a less than professional brother. That's where that comes from. So black woman, you go to the meet, bring John. Wife beater, 8 tattoos. 773 on the neck. Bring John. And you tell John, I don't want you to talk in this meeting. Because he's gonna mess the whole damn conversation up. Tell John, no verbal articulations in here. But this is what you tell John. If these white people in coons start ganging up on me, I want you to bang your fists on the table real hard one time. Wife beater 773. One time. Boom! And then everybody gonna stop and look at you. And I want you to look at the white folks and say one thing, John, just one. After you bang your fists on the table, look at them devils and say, I'm not feeling this shit. And if you do that, John, there won't be no more special ed conversations. There won't be no suspensions, no exposure. No talk of ADHD, conduct disorder, oppositional defiant disorder. Because there's one thing America hates. One thing America is absolutely petrified about. And that is an unapologetically African alpha male with nothing to lose. And I see we got a lot of young brothers in here, high school and middle school brothers, and I want to tell y'all brothers one thing. Don't you ever exchange your manhood for any opportunity. Be a man when nothing else, be a man. Because as you go through life, people are going to come to you with deals. They want you to sell your masculinity for a price. Don't ever do it. Guess what? The black masculine brothers that they in jail. America has no place for a masculine black man, so they lock them up. If you masculine, it's hard to make it in America. So you see a lot of brothers, they start wearing skinny jeans and dropping the bass out their voice and cutting their beards off and laughing at stuff that ain't funny. Trying to go along to get along. And we got to start being ourselves. That's why I started the Unapologetically African movement, because I'm tired of us apologizing for nappy hair, black skin. Be proud of what God made you. We got black women running around getting liposuction and getting gastric bypass surgery so she can get real skinny. But black woman, if you were born with a big head like mine, and you get gastric bypass, and you lose 200 pounds, now you got a skinny body and a big ass head, you look like a lollipop. It don't work. If you were born to be voluptuous, be voluptuous. And for the life of me, I don't know why you want that skinny European build anyway. There's nothing cute about it at all. But y'all killing yourself to fit in those little clothes for what? Brothers like your curvaceous. Good God Almighty. Chicago has nothing but curvaceous. Must be the water out the Great Lakes out here. But parents, don't go to the meetings by yourself. Rule number 2, if anybody come to you talking about you want to evaluate your son or daughter for special ed, and they in the 3rd grade, second grade, first grade, kindergarten, preschool, a daycare, you should tell them I think not. Now you say, wait a minute, Doc, isn't it better to catch the problem early? I mean, if they think my son is retarded at 2, wouldn't it be better to jump on this up front? Why would I not let them test him if they think he's retarded or learning disabled at 3 or 4? Isn't it better to catch it early? Well, the problem in that analysis is you're comparing learning disabilities to cancer. And the problem is with cancer, you do want to catch it early because you can see it grow. So you can identify it and localize it and cut it out. With learning disability, you can't catch it small, you can't catch it big, you can't catch it large because the learning disability doesn't have a physical presence. The learning disability is an intellectual creation. When someone tells you your daughter has a math disability, they didn't see nothing in the microscope. When they said your son had ADHD, there was nothing in his urine sample. When they said your grandson got conduct disorder, there was nothing in the blood tests that identified a conduct disorder. These are intellectual, philosophical labels. So you can't catch mild mental retardation early because you can't prove it even when it's older. I need you parents to get this. One of the reasons they want to take my certification in Harrisburg in 10 days is because I done taught you so much for so long that they now saying you got to shut him up because he's messing with our special ed bucks. See, I need you parents to understand every time I put one of your children in special ed, the school gets paid. Special education is a business. Special education is a hustle. Special education is a racket of making money off black children you know you never taught in the first place. I'm going to let my 7-year-old get tested for a reading disability. He only been in school for 2 years. Not only that, he goes to one of the worst performing schools in Chicago. Not only that, he got a brand new first year teacher. Not only that, the school ain't made annual yearly progress in over 10 days. Not only that, the school gets some of the least funding in the entire state. And we're going to ignore all of that and blame my son's brain for why he can't read. Now let me tell you why Jalil and Jaquil can't read. Because when you and I went to school, I'm 40, so if you anywhere from 35 and older, when you were taught literacy in school, they taught you based on a system known as phonics. Phonics is a system that is based on making sure children understand the phoneme, the sounds that go with the letters. Because if you understand all the sounds that can go with a potential letter, then you can sound out words you've never seen before. So let me tell you how phonics went. You come to school on the first day, 4th grade, right? My 4th grade teacher was Ms. Madden, never forget her. 5th grade teacher, Ms. Robinson, my favorite ever. Even my 6th grade teacher, Ms. Lube, she was white supremacy, but she was a good teacher. Because all white people are racist. We're going to get to that in a minute. And I don't want to make no white folks uncomfortable here. You're more than welcome to be here. This is a publicly funded center. So you're welcome. But I still want to educate you about you. Because white people study everybody but their damn selves. Asha? They will study the hell out some roaches. They will study the hell out some flu, some AIDS, gorillas, insects, the moon, Mars, aliens, and never study their ass. So black folks have to study white folks because white folks ain't gonna study themselves. When the last time you turned on the TV, they said we just done a study on intellectual European narcissism. You ain't never heard about that. White folks don't study their problems. No! So when you show up 4th grade literacy, 3rd grade literacy, Miss Mack will put the letter A on the board, first day of school. Y'all remember this? And Miss Mack will say, repeat after me. A, A. And for the whole 7 hours, A. Chloroseptic, throat lozenges, honey lemon. By the time you went home, you couldn't talk. And then guess what? When you got back tomorrow, she put the letter B. B. And then when she got through all the letters, she would put the A and the B together. And then she put the C and the A together. What up, Aki? Right? And you go through them all. And by the time she'd impaired every letter with every other letter, and this took a whole marking period. They could put a word in front of you with 30 letters. You might only be 8, 9 years old. There was nothing you could not read after you received phonics. The reason why we have so many black kids going to special ed, and let's be clear, special education is 85% reading. Let me say that again. 85% of the kids in special ed in Chicago ain't there because they don't know how to act. They're not there because they're autistic. They're not there because they're blind or deaf or have a brain injury. They're there because somebody never took the time to teach them how to read. And so you might say, well, Dr. Johnson, why don't they still teach phonics? Why did they get rid of it about a decade ago? The answer is real simple. Public education in Illinois does not exist for the best interests of your children. It exists for the best interests of their white teachers. And because phonics is labor intensive, phonics takes effort. Yep. Phonics takes elbow grease. Phonics takes practice. These teachers they got teaching your children, they ain't the least bit interested in anything that's going to make their job difficult. But I'm not going to blame the teachers alone. Because when I come to your house to do therapy, and when I come to your house to evaluate children, I don't see no dictionaries in there. I don't see no thesaurus in there. I don't see no encyclopedia in your home, black man, black woman. What did you just do yesterday? Christmas. You've been opening up gifts all day long yesterday. Sneakers, jeans, watches, jewelry, video games, tablets, big screen TVs. Let me tell you how you know you want to get it. When you walk into a house and the TV bigger than a wall that it's on. How many of you ever seen that? They gotta tilt the damn TV because the TV bigger than a wall that it's on. Listen to me, black people. So many of us buy our children gifts that work against their academic improvement. Listen, when I was in elementary school, we didn't have Xbox and all that. I remember when the first Centipede and Miss Pac-Man came out, it was about 2 feet tall. Remember that? Yeah. We were happy. So guess how we had fun? We made games, academic games. Me and my best friend Mark would go down to Temple University's library in North Philly. And we would sit in the library and see which one of us could read the most books before they put us out. That was our fun. Literacy was our fun because we didn't have all these distractions. There was no iPhone yet. There was no cell phone either. So now y'all have all these distractions. Your son and daughter, 10 hours on video games. 20 hours surfing the internet. For 8 hours, reality shows. Loving hip hop. And how much time spent on reading and math? With a parent who don't check the homework and never showed up at school until somebody threatened their child's safety. That's a big problem. That's a very big problem. You want to know why? Schools treat your child to the same level that they think you care about. Listen, a lot of teachers are lazy, so guess what they evaluate parents. 30 kids, which of these black parents' kids? And you know how they gonna know? Who called? Who stopped by? Who left a message? Who came to back to school night? Who came to the report card conference? Your child got a teacher and the teacher don't know you by face. We got a problem. See, let me tell you a little secret, parents. Every educator has a don't mess with that black child list.
That's right.
Oh, I'm a former principal, trust me. Every principal, every teacher got a list, 5, 10 parents. Don't mess with their kids. They know their rights. They will fight for theirs. They are very responsible. They are on top of your grading. They can even call you up and tell you what grade their child's supposed to get in this marking period because they kept every quiz and every test they gave them. And you know what's horrible? When a special ed parent calls me up and wants some help. And what's my first question when you say, Dr. Umar, I need some help? They trying to railroad my son, special ed. I say, I need all the psychological evaluations. And you say, huh? I say the IEP. I didn't say the IEP. The IEP comes from the psychological evaluation. I need the psychological evaluation so I can see the formulation used for them to say that your child is reading disabled in the first place. I want to find the mistakes made in the initial classification. But you don't have the reports. So how are we going to win a war against white supremacy on a school-based level where you ain't got no paperwork and they got a whole folder full of lies? Parents, you must keep your child's paperwork in order. You must keep it together. For every grade day in school, there should be a binder. Every report card, every note home. Write everything down. And that takes me to my next lesson. Don't communicate on the phone. Communicate on paper. If it wasn't written down, it never happened. Well, I told the principal, if it wasn't written down, it never happened. I told the teacher, if it wasn't written down, it never happened. I told the special ed coordinator, if it wasn't recorded on paper, it never happened. So guess what you're supposed to do after every meeting, whether your child is regular or special? You follow up with a letter. Get their email address. Based on the meeting we had today, we agreed that you would no longer send my son to the principal's office without at least conferring with me. If this is in any way incorrect, please let me know so I can have a better understanding. And if they don't respond, guess what? Then they're legally agreeing to that with their silence. You always follow up with a letter. But the problem with you all is you're too lazy to make education a priority. Yes! Your son don't have no reading disability. He just started reading last year. You know what he got? He got a sloppy and lazy as hell Negro child disability. That's what he got. Let me tell you why he can't read on the south side of Chicago and on the west side of Chicago. You know why he can't read? Because he said he's going to the NBA. He's going to the NFL. He the next Chief Keef. He ain't got to read. Because he will get rich. But I got a question for you. There's only 2,400 professional football players. There's less than 700 professional basketball players. If every Negro boy in every city in America think he's going to become a professional, and you only got 700 in the NBA and 2,400 in the NFL, do you know what that means? That means your son got a greater chance of being struck down by lightning than ever being drafted by either league. And I got to chastise some of my black fathers because some of you black men are trifling. Oh yes, you trying to relive your athletic career through your son. That's right, I'm gonna talk about it. Trifling black fathers. Not most of my brothers, just a few. If your ass can't play ball, what make you think he can? I had a father call me up one time, Dr. Johnson, I'm a lawyer. My son wants to be a barber. Can you please talk some sense into him? What's the problem? He wants to cut hair for a living. I'm a lawyer. I can get him into any law school in America. He wants to be a barber. And I said, what's wrong with that? I said, do you know that becoming a barber, your son, could teach other young men how to cut hair, maybe save some lives, prevent some incarcerations? Not only that, he might become so successful at opening up barbershops and beauty salons that he might end up making more than you one day as a barber. Stop trying to live your life through your child. Let them find their own purpose. Rule number 3, black parents, stop telling your business to the schools. Black mother, you talk too much, sister. Stop telling Miss Slurbanowski all your damn business. I don't know what's wrong with the black woman. So when you walk into a school, your mouth just starts flapping. Oh, Miss Slurbanowski, my son's father got locked up last week. Oh, Miss Slurbanowski, my gas got cut off last week. Oh, Miss Slurbanowski, I'm living in my mama's house, 1 room, me and my 3 kids. Oh, Miss Slurbanowski, I just kicked the drug habit. Listen! Miss Slurbanowski don't give a damn about you! Right. But the problem is so many black women go into Chicago public schools looking for sympathy. White supremacy ain't got no sympathy for black folks. If that was the case, we wouldn't even be here right now having this conversation. We don't have any sympathy. But you think you can induce sympathy by giving out sob stories. And because white folks know how to manipulate black folks, they play right into your emotional needs. And Miss Slurbanowski would sit there and say, oh my God. I had no idea our black mothers were under such distress. And then she says, can we pray together? Can I have a hug? I know you're black, I'm white, but we're sisters. And then after y'all pray the white Jesus together, you go back to your job thinking, I got her on my side. Miss Slurbanowski, please don't suspend her no more. I got a new job. I'm on probation. I got 90 days. If I can make it to 90 days, I'll be able to spend more time with Raheem. He's only acting up because he don't see me that much. His father's in jail. Work with me, please. She says, I will work with you. Oh my God. And then after you leave, she go right to the principal's house. Principal's office. Dr. Silverberger. And she's going to tell Dr. Silverberger that Raheem's mother was in here crying. I don't know if she was under the influence of cocaine. She was very hysterical. I don't know if it was a manic episode or a psychotic episode. She told me she's living in a 1-bedroom house with 4 kids. I don't think that's healthy. I noticed Raheem been coming to school with the same socks on every day. And I don't want to get Miss Shaquita in trouble. Not at all. I like Shaquita. She's grown on me. But she smelled like reefers. And the next thing you know, child protective search at your house. Talking about they got an anonymous complaint. Wasn't nothing anonymous about it. Problem is you told too much of your business. Black mother, listen to me. It will never benefit your children for the school to know you're a single mother. It will never benefit your children. I know it's a badge of honor in the hood for some reason. I understand. But in the schools, keep that to yourself. That's right. Tell them you're married, engaged, whatever the case may be. Tell them you got 4 husbands if you need to. Some of you got 4 anything. Talking about brothers polygamy, black women way more polygamous. We ever could be. You just don't get caught. I'm a single mother, raising 4 kids on my own, going to college, working 3 jobs. I applaud you, sister. But I don't want white folks to know that. Because a single mother is a vulnerable one. And the children of single mothers are 10 times as likely to be suspended. The children of single mothers are 10 times as likely to end up in special ed. The children of single mothers are 20 times as likely to end up on brain drugs. Let them know you ain't got no backup. And the next thing you know, they're going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. You keep that to yourself. And if they ever ask you if you're married, why we never see the husband? You say because he only come outside at night. He don't like white folks. If I brought his ass, he would whip your ass from the outside. He's nocturnal. He don't like Christ. That's all you got to tell him. Do you want me to call him up here? Stop telling your business. When did we get ADD? We got ADD in 1980. 1980, ADD. Attention Deficit Disorder. There was no ADHD till 87. It was only ADD. Attention Deficit Disorder. 1980. Was it a coincidence? Hell no. That's the same year the CIA dropped off crack in Chicago. Oh yes. Oh yes. They started doping up the parents the same year they started doping up our babies. And for those of y'all who don't know, Ritalin and Adderall and Concerta synthesize cocaine. That ain't coming from me. That's coming from the American College of Physicians. It acts on your child's brain the same way crack acts on your brain. In fact, it's only one molecule away from crack. The average crackhead can only get high, addicted person can only get high once a day. But your son, because he got insurance, he can get crack for breakfast, crack for lunch, and crack for dinner. And what they don't tell you about these medications that y'all give out is that the medications cause more of the same problems they supposed to get rid of. Adderall will make you hyper. Concerta will make you inattentive. Meditate will make you impulsive. Yes, it does. And what nobody tells you is while your son is under the influence of the brain drug, he ain't learning at all. He's sitting there like a vegetable, baby Frankenstein, but he's not learning. And what makes me upset about you, Chicago, and Detroit, and all over the country, is I want to know why black people let white people tell them to go take their child to a psychologist or psychiatrist to get evaluated for diagnoses that teachers are not even trained over. Ain't that crazy? Would you let a plumber tell you you need heart surgery? Would you let an auto mechanic design your house? Why are you letting teachers give you expert mental health advice? Did you know it's against the law? And then some of you parents say, well, Dr. Johnson, what am I supposed to do? They keep harassing me. You know why they keep harassing you? Because you ain't shut them up with a letter yet. You ain't shut them up. All you got to do is write one letter. I've been asked about medication. I refused it, and I don't want to hear about it no more. Or I will report you to the State Department of Education for practicing outside of your realm of expertise. Next rule, parents, is I need you to know that you always have a right to a second opinion. Did you know that? Oh yes. Even if you get your son or daughter evaluated and you don't agree, guess what? You can get them reevaluated again. It's called independent educational evaluation. In fact, say it with me. Independent educational evaluation. That means you're going to write a letter to Principal Silverberger and say, Dear Dr. Silverberger, I received my son Raheem's psychological evaluation yesterday. It claims that he has mild mental retardation. Dr. Johnson was in Chicago and he said, if he's that mild with his retardation, how do we know he got it at all? I am requesting an independent educational evaluation at district expense. I understand this to be both my federal and state right as a parent of a special learner. Upon your approval of my request for the IEE, I will provide you with the to do the testing. And you know why I know so much about IEEs? Because in Pennsylvania, I'm the IEE man. That's another reason why they won't be up there on January 8th. Because every time a black parent in those 501 school districts in Pennsylvania got a problem, guess what they calling me? White folks know they're going to call me. Sometimes they call me before they do. So don't you ever let somebody tell you your child got a problem and you got to deal with, no, I don't agree with this. Do you know the average black kid is 2 grades beneath where they should be academically? The 8th graders are operating on 6th grade. The 6th graders are operating on 4th grade. So let me ask you a question. If the 8th graders are operating on 6th grade, why did you let a teacher come and tell you Raheem needs special ed because he's an 8th grader operating on 6th grade when most of them operating on 6th grade? And the question I need y'all to answer for me, I've been in special ed for 20 years. I'm the one who do the testing and put them in. But I need y'all to help me with all my special ed parents. I need you to help me with something. Because I've been asking this question for 20 years. I ain't got an answer yet. Can somebody please tell me what is so special about special education? I'm trying to figure this shit out. Because y'all sign y'all kids up, y'all give them an IEP, and y'all think because they put them in a different room, something special is going to happen in that dusty room in the corner. That's what's happening in there. They're not learning at all anymore. Guess what's happening in there? They're surrounded with 10 other kids with the same problem that they got, never been taught, and all they do is watch TV, crack jokes, lay their head down, and fill out photocopies. And what is so ironic is the longer your child is in special ed, the more it looks like they need it. What do you mean, Dr. Johnson? I mean, you put a 5th grader in special ed because he was on the 2nd grade level. 3 grades behind, you put him in special ed. But when he goes to special ed, he ain't learning nothing. So when he's in 8th grade, instead of being 3 grade levels behind, he's 4 grade levels behind. When he get to 10th grade, instead of being 4 grade levels behind, he's 6 grade levels behind. By the time he graduates, he looks retarded, and he never was because he ain't been taught. True. Why they shut down all the schools in Chicago? Why they shut down all the schools in Detroit? Why they shut down all the schools in Philadelphia? Why they shut down so many public schools in all the black metropolises in this country? Because you can't move Negroes unless you move the schools that teach their kids. So the school system is working with Rahm Emanuel. Is he still the mayor? Yeah. Who the new one? He's still the mayor? Is he? Yeah. How did y'all get a white mayor in a black city? Oh, y'all had that Barack Kool-Aid shit. I forgot this Barack city. Obama, we got Obama. I told you Negroes wasn't going to get nothing with Obama. I'm the only scholar in America who said, I promise you, when these 8 years are over, black America gonna look like you back in the damn 60s and look at us. I'm not upset because you supported Obama. I understand black people have been surviving off of emotional booster shots for 200 years. I'm not upset that you supported Obama. I'm upset that you let white supremacy outthink you again. White folks are Machiavellian with their wicked wisdom. They said, we will put a Negro out front, and with him out front, we're going to take away the Civil Rights Bill, most of it. We're going to take away the Voting Rights Act, most of it. We're going to swell up the jails. We're going to intensify the unemployment rate. We're going to intensify the dropout rate. We're going to bring black police brutality so strong that it's going to make the KKK look like a picnic. And while black folks are so distracted with celebrating their president, by the time he leaves office, America will look like it's back in Reconstruction. I need y'all to understand me well. I don't need a black president. I don't need a black mayor. I don't need a black governor. What I'm in search of is black power. Our problem as a people is we are too comfortable Tokenism. And as long as you keep on begging a white man to give you something, you'll never do anything for yourself. W.E.B. Du Bois said it best. He said if black people would put half the effort into building up their own community than what they put into getting white folks to do it for them, we've been to solve all of our problems by now. See, what I'm trying to understand, Chicago, why we begging for better schools when we spending $2 billion on Air Jordans every year? I want to know why so many black men going to jail in Chicago when we spend $9 billion on perm every year. And I'm not knocking no black woman in here who processed. I feel for you. No, I love my sisters. They grew up in a certain era where we were taught that looking white was right. So I'm not knocking you, sister. But although I feel sorry for you, I feel even sorrier for your scalp once it's done. No, I'm serious because I'm a barber. I used to cut hair. They taught me in military high school. And I know some sisters got a scalp damage beyond this world. It look like Iraq. Now listen, black man, you laughing. You got to live with that scalp. Listen! See, brothers say before they get married, he want to see his woman's credit. He want to make sure she got a job. He want to know how many kids she got. He want to know what she look like. Now, Dr. Johnson, I ain't looking for your credit. I ain't looking for your credentials. I'm not looking for your employment. The only thing I want to see before I wipe you up is your damn scalp. Damn right. You ain't gonna fool me on honeymoon night. I didn't say I won't marry you. I just need to know what I'm dealing with. Because sisters could fake the funk, brother. They got glue. They could glue a whole wig on. You got to see the scalp. Damn, now I'm going to put a fan on and they're blowing and everything. No, you got to get in the water. Seawater, salt water. Pour that glue out. But the truth of the matter is, black men, the reason black women ain't natural because they have studied us and they see that black men don't want no natural sisters. Let's keep it a buck tonight. Black man, let's keep it a buck tonight. See, the black man wants a woman with the body of a sister. He wants the damn hips. He wants that bounce. Damn the bounce. But he don't want that brown skin. He don't want that beige skin. He don't want that tan skin. He don't want that chocolate skin. He wants European complexion with an African-centered dimension. That's why y'all went crazy over Kim Kardashian. Because she had the color of the Caucasian, but the dimensions of a sister. Black man, every woman in Chicago go natural by New Year's Day. We said we ain't dating them unless they are. The truth of the matter is, sisters know you don't want them to be any more natural than they want to be. I once knew a sister, she called me up crying a couple years ago. She was dating a Hotep brother. That's right. She said, Dr. Umar, y'all dating brother. My aunt, Kanab, Su, And she said, I shaved all my perm off for his birthday. This was his birthday gift. And I came home and said, baby, I did it for you. He said, why? Fake ass nationalists. Brothers, we can't fake the fuck. We got to live this. I'm tired of this superficial cosmetic psychosurgery going on in the black conscious movement. In case you ain't paying attention, we the new mega church. I'm damn near T.D. Jakes on the left. I'm Creflo T. Listen. You know why the church is still beating out black consciousness? You know why the church is still winning? Because even though most pastors in Chicago, not all, there's exceptions, but I think there's exceptions, but the reason Why the church still winning? Because the church, if your kids are hungry, they got a bag of groceries. The church, if you homeless, they know a number to the shelter. They're not spending the money you give them. They hustling. But you can get some human services from a church. If your child died, the pastor will come and pray with you. But if your child died, God forbid, and you come to black consciousness, shit. One brother gonna say, brother, is you Hebrew? Another brother, is you Moor, my brother? Is you Pan-Africanist? Is you Nawapian? Another nigga gonna say, are you from this planet? And I ain't mocking my Moorish and Hebrew Nawapian brothers. I ride with them. I got good friends in those movements. I'm just saying that we're more judgmental than any churches. Some of y'all sisters know what I'm talking about when you first come to a conscious meeting, right, sister? You brand new, you just now waking up, so a couple Dr. Umar YouTubes! You ready? You say, yeah, I heard it's a nice conscious event. I'm sitting on term, but they should accept me because I'm a new student. I'm waking up. Go in there, sisters is looking at your head. Sister, you ain't got on shea butter, that's Vaseline lotion. You can't even digest the information because everybody's so busy judging you. Dang, I'm getting beat up now by the vegetarian community. They won't leave me alone. The damn vegans will be at Chicago Midway tomorrow. At my gate and won't let me board that plane. Brother, you the leader of our people, brother. They listening to you. We don't know what the hell for, but you the leader. And you be eating all type of little Debbie cakes and shit. You be on your Instagram live with a milkshake, brother. How that make us look? A lot of you not. I'm scared of the damn vegans. But I'm gonna meet the vegans halfway because guess what? 2016 I didn't eat no meat, right? 2017 I went back to meat. Cheesesteaks. If you ever saw the movie Creed, Rocky took the brother to the cheesesteak spot. That's my hood, North Philly. So I went in there, all the brothers from the hood, they said, stop. They gave me a free cheesesteak. But I do not take it, never be. A harsh trauma that called forth another cheesesteak. But for 2018, because I cheated in 17. I know, brother, but sometimes when you just had a hard day, Hotepin, you walk into the Wawa's on Germantown Avenue, and that damn Haagen-Dazs is looking at you. That rum raisin and that pineapple coconut Haagen-Dazs. No dairy, no meat for 2018, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I start getting skinny and shit, I'm gonna start eating again. I'm telling you right now. I don't do that. Now, brothers and sisters, let's talk about Willie Lynch for a minute. Can we do that? Now, some of y'all get into whether Willie Lynch existed. I don't know if he did. He might have not. I don't care. Half of the stuff you read in the Bible never happened. But guess what? I don't discount the Bible. So you say, Doc, if you just said half of what's in the Bible ain't true, you want to know why? Because in African culture, in African spirituality, we believe in creating stories to communicate truths that exist in reality. You understand? Moses may have never parted the water, but that may be symbolic for a spiritual message that you got to look deeper at. Yes. So when Willie Lynch came to America, he taught three things above others, but I'm going to focus on three. One was language. One was language. Willie Lynch told slave masters, if you want to control black folks, you got to kill their native tongue and teach them yours. Don't let them speak no Zulu, no Swahili, no Igbo, no Yoruba. None of it. French and English. But guess what? The white man in America didn't listen. Them 13 colonies, they didn't let you learn. Oh, no, they did not. You ever look at pictures of enslaved Africans and you notice a lot of them are missing fingers or digits of fingers? My young people, you know where that comes from? Every time they caught you trying to read, they would chop a digit off your finger. If you got caught 3 times, 1 finger gone. You got caught 6 times, 2 fingers gone. And then when they got done with your finger, they would mock your thumb off and then move on to the next hand. So sometimes when y'all see these pictures of our ancestors, you say, oh, he must have cut his finger off picking cotton. How the hell are you going to cut your finger off picking cotton? No, his finger got cut off because he was trying to get an education. Yeah. So the white man said, I'm not letting my Negroes learn. And guess what? By not letting you learn, he helped you preserve your indigenous tongue. Oh, yeah. See, when Chicago black people are talking, you ain't speaking no damn English. Who told you that? No. You are speaking West African, Niger, Congo dialect. And I'm going to prove it to you. When white people talk and black people talk, we use the same vocabulary words, but we don't use the same language. Let me say that again. When white people talk and black people talk, we use the same vocabulary words, but we don't use the same language. The problem is so many of us reduce language to vocabulary. You think if you use a person's words, you're speaking their tongue. Not true. Because if that were true, we couldn't call the American language English. You want to know why? 40% of the vernacular in English does not come from the English culture. Yep. That's right. So our language is rhythmic. It represents the culture we belong to. And so when we talk, we don't say, we are getting ready to have supper with Furmanowski. We say, I'm fixing to get sunny. See how phonetically accurate that was? In every West African language, and you can go with me this summer to see for yourself. We're going back to Africa. You will see that one word blends right into the other. There's no strong consonant ending. I don't care if it's Yoruba. I don't care if it's Igbo. I don't care if it's Wolof. I don't care if it's Zulu. Our language is rhythmic. It does not emphasize consonants. It is vowel-based. Most of the sisters in this room right now, Shaquita, Rashida, Amina. The reason it ends in vowels is because it automatically connects to the next word. That's why our hip-hop artists have such automaticity with their language, because it's blended into black culture. Second way white tongue is different from black tongue is in white language, you emphasize the message. When white people talk to you, they say, did you hear what I said? Did you understand me? Does this make sense? Is there anything unclear about my communication? They value what they say, not black people. We don't value what you say. We value the vibration you said it with. So for black folks, it's not what you said, it's what you meant by what your ass said. Are y'all following me? So you come in for work one day, your coworker say, girl, there's some bad shoes you got on. And you don't respond. And she says, you didn't hear me? I complimented you on your heels. And you say, no. You didn't compliment me. I heard what you said. But what you really said was, why did you come outside with them shoes on? See, black people, we are about vibration. We are a vibratory people because we're spirited people. So we're picking up on vibes. Some of y'all done sent me vibes in here already. You ain't said a word to me. Some of y'all done sent me vibes, I can't stand his ass. Some of y'all that sent me vibes, I'm rocking with you, Doc. Some of you sisters that sent me a few vibes. You know how you walk into a room, you know who like you and who don't, and nobody opened their mouth? Because black people can communicate beyond words. And this is why we suffer psychologically from racism so much. Because white folks will tell you that they like you. And their vibration lets you know that they don't. And then when you sue white folks in court, guess what? They say, well, can you prove that there was a racist intent when he fired you? Can you prove you got fired because you were black? And then you say, can I take your damn skull off your head and see inside of it and see what's in there? How the hell are you going to prove racist intent? You can't prove racist intent because it's a mental event. And that's why most race cases, we lose them. Because white folks set it up. How are you going to prove what somebody intended? I know the cop shot Michael Brown. I know the cop shot Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. And I know this. But guess what you got to prove in court? That they did it because he was black. We know they did it because it was black. But the white folks want to play an intellectual head game with us, making us think we don't know what we're talking about because we can't prove it. Their courts are not designed to serve justice. And while we're on this topic of justice, brothers and sisters, let me be clear with y'all. Y'all have to stop settling for tokens from Chicago government, Illinois government, and U.S. government that stop short of justice. And you know how the white man gets away with giving you handouts instead of justice? Because some of us are thirsty as hell for money. And we value money more than justice. So the white man would come in and say, listen, we can't stop police brutality, but we can set up a police advisory board. So every time a black kid is shot, at least we can talk about it. And we'll pay you to get the people on the board, and we'll pay you to monitor the board. They bind your ass off. I don't want that. I want justice. Well, we can hire some more black cops. That ain't justice. They're going to do the same thing the white cops do. You heard what Obama said? Obama said, we want to give the police body cams. And guess what? All the police got body cams. And guess what? They still killing black folks. Stop letting them waste your time. You got to say, that ain't no solution. We want solutions, not Band-Aids. And the white man has made a whole lifestyle out of giving black folks Band-Aids. And not only that, Chicago, y'all got to deal with y'all black bourgeoisie. Y'all got a hell of a bourgeoisie. One of the reasons I'm scared to open up FDMG here is because of y'all bourgeoisie. Dang, y'all got a bourgeoisie. Chi-town. Y'all the second largest black metropolis in America. Y'all only second in New York. Y'all bigger than Houston. Y'all bigger than Atlanta. Y'all bigger than Philly. You got to have a bourgeoisie when you got that many free blacks running around. Let me tell you about the 5 families of the Negro aristocracy, the untalented tenth, the coon Illuminati. 5 families. And some of y'all might be in here tonight. God curse your ass. Listen, the job of the Chicago black bourgeoisie is to serve as a gatekeeper around the masses, protecting the white supremacists. That's their job. Their job is to get you to stop blaming Emmanuel. And they will come up with every excuse to say it's not the mayor's fault. Let me give you an example. God forbid, but a brother is shot tonight. God forbid, it ain't going to happen, right? They're going to say, the bourgeoisie going to say, no, that's not the mayor's fault. Y'all need to be more responsible. Raise your kids better. Keep them off the streets. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. And then I'm going to step in and say, listen here, you coon. What they didn't tell you about that brother who shot the other brother? He was working on the job. He just started. Good pay. Then his boss, the manager, called him into the office and said he found out he had a record and that he had to let him go. He got a newborn baby. Him and his girlfriend are homeless. He was put in special ed, put in alternative school, dropped out, pushed out, ended up on drugs, tried to clean himself up, got a half-decent job, and it got snatched from him with a newborn baby and a homeless wife just because he made a mistake, but he already paid his debt to society. That black on black crime was actually a white on black crime. Because if y'all never committed a crime against him, he would have never committed a crime against his brother. Your ass is the fault. Your ass is the fault. You gotta stop letting white supremacy off the hook. They know why black people kill people. The same way the Jews killed Jews in the 20s. The same way Italians killed Italians in the 30s. Same way the Irish killed the Irish in the 40s. Meyer Lansky wasn't black. Lucky Luciano wasn't black. Al Capone, right here in Chicago, wasn't black.
Nope.
There were whites, Jews, Irish, and Italian gangsters who did what? Created crime organizations. Not because they was born to commit crime, but because they were not considered to be white people until the 40s. Do your research. I'm going to say it again. Irish were not considered white until 1940. Jews were not considered white till 1940. You seen the signs. No blacks, no Irish, no dogs. You seen the signs. They didn't treat them as bad as us, but they treated them bad. So they had to do whatever they could do to make a way. So they created crime as a whole system because America shut them out. They killed each other on the streets of Chicago. They ran the liquors, the booze, the numbers, you name it. Everything we do, they did it before us. But in 1967, 1950, white man said we got to give them a hand up. Immigrants is coming in, we losing our numbers. We got to up status these Irish, Italians, and Jews and make them full-fledged white folks. And guess what they did? They gave the Irish the police department. They gave the Italians the fire department. And they gave the European Jews the downtown civil service government jobs that they still run to this very day in most of the major cities. In other words, the white man gave the poor white man an economic stimulus package. The crimes that our sons commit, it's the same thing they used to do, but we ain't never been given no economic stimulus package. So don't come telling me black men are responsible for being in jail. How the hell can you be responsible for an institution that you didn't fund or run? How are we responsible for the schools failing when you don't fund them or run them? How are we responsible for so many black people going to jail and you don't fund them or run them? How are we responsible for all these so-called medical mistakes that they making in the hospitals with our grandmothers and grandfathers when you don't fund them or run them? How dare you blame black folks when another race is investing multi-billions of dollars into this thing? They not playing with us. The reason they shut down the schools is because it ain't no more jobs for black folks. They're replacing you. Mexicans. I'm driving through Chicago the other day. I said, damn, am I in Mexico or Chicago? And I'm not knocking the Mexican family. Don't get me wrong, I ain't got no problems with them. But I can recognize a strategy when I see one. Your problem, black man, black woman, you bought into multiculturalism so long. See, the white man created 3 evil children to distract you from your own agenda. Ain't no more black agenda no more. You got multicultural agenda, LGBT agenda, and the feminist agenda. Those are the only 3 agendas you're allowed to have. That's right. Ain't no more black agenda. So they got you strung out on holding hands with everybody. Black person love to be colorblind, don't you? You can line a whole list of people up here. Chinese that say I'm Chinese. Arab that say I'm Arab. Latino say I'm Latino. Black person say I'm just a child of God. You hate who you are. We made a culture of hating who we are. Look at that multicultural agenda. You want Dr. Umar to be multicultural? Then where were the Chinese during my slavery? Where were the Arabs during my slavery? In fact, the Arab was trading slaves before the white man. Salam alaikum. I'm not knocking the religion. Nothing wrong with Islam. We had it first. That's a black man's thing. Muhammad ibn Abdullah was black. His mother was a Sudanese. I'm saying how some of us in different religions will feel like we have an obligation to protect the slave master because he prayed the same way we do. Nothing wrong with the religions, it's how you use them. Garvey was a Christian, Malcolm was a Muslim, it's how you use them. But how you got time to be holding hands with everybody else in Chicago when everybody else in Chicago wants to get rid of you. You ain't got no allies. And the Negroes, the first one running around talking about something, we need a Jewish coalition. We need an Arabic coalition. Don't nobody want to coalesce with your ass. Do you not know that everybody comes to America are basically taught in no uncertain terms that if you want to be successful in this country, you stay the hell away from them? You know how many African immigrants have told me to my face, Dr. Umar, they told us in immigration to stay away from African Americans. And you're looking for somebody to hold your hand. Listen! A disorganized group can never work with a more organized group or you will be exploited. Until you are organized, you have no business organizing with nobody else. Oh yes. Willie Lynch said, take their language. The last thing that's similar between, or dissimilar between white language and black language is when white people talk, they believe only one person should talk at a time. Not us. We cut in, cut under. But do you know why we do that? Because our culture is participatory and collective. When white people see black people cut each other off, they say they're so rude and disrespectful. No. We do that because it shows solidarity. Let me give you an example. Black woman, you coming home one day. Your white boss got on your nerves today. You at the bus stop with two black women, you never met them before. Y'all all around the same age. And you at the bus stop and you say, listen, sisters, can I talk to y'all for a minute? And they say, go ahead, girl. You say, my supervisor called me into the office today and had a nerve to say, and they say, wait, girl, she told you that she got a new employee that you got to train, and then after you train them, they will fire your ass. Yeah, girl, how did you know that? And it makes you feel good that she was able to understand me because she'd been through it. It is the greatest mark of respect for you to be able to interject and finish my sentence as a way of showing me I understand. White people are not black people, and we have to stop trying to be white people. Be who you are. And then Willie Lynch said, after you take their language, you have to introduce petty differences in Chicago. Put the light-skinned Chicago against the dark-skinned Chicago. Put the Muslims in Chicago against the Christians in Chicago. This is what they said. Put the ministers' people against Reverend Jackson's people. Put WVON against the hip-hop stations. Put the college-educated brothers against the returning offenders. Put those who went to college against those with the GEDs. Put the meat eaters against the vegetarians. Do y'all realize 95% of our problems are superficial? It's superficial. Black people have been engineered to do nothing but destroy each other without being paid. Anybody else, you got to pay them to turn on their kind. Not a Negro, you do it for free. And then after you do it, you say you did your people a favor. See, the black bourgeoisie is 5 families. You got your entertainment bourgeois. These are black people in Chicago with radio stations, newspapers, magazines. But they never talk about the real issues that affect you. They don't talk about crime. They don't talk about economic exploitation of black folks. They don't talk about gentrification, white folks taking over black communities. They'll spend all day talking about the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago Olympics and all this other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with black life. Distract you. And then you got money bourgeois, black people with millions of dollars in Chicago, but they never got money for you, but they sure had a check for Obama for his campaign and one for Hillary for hers. And then you got higher education blacks, black people who are in the colleges and in the universities, in the high schools. And when people say why black kids can't learn, they blame black kids instead of blaming the trifling white women who teach them. I'm not calling all white women trifling, I'm calling the ones who miseducate trifling. I know y'all don't want to hear me when I tell you this, but 97% of all teachers in America are women. And 93% of that 97% are white, middle-class, racist women. Only a slave would let their oppressor teach their child. Do you know that your son's teacher is a daughter of another teacher who fought to keep your mother from going to her child's school? Your kids are being taught by the children of Jim Crow. Ain't no woman got no business teaching no boy, not no white one. See, the black boy in Chicago is not the problem. They want you to think our sons in Chicago are the problem. No! It's the system, not the boys. You want to fix the schools in Chicago? It ain't hard. Give every black boy in Chicago a strong, masculine black male teacher. Give every black boy in Chicago a strong, masculine black male teacher. Guess what? Special ed go down, fights go down, games go down, ADHD go down, test scores go up, attendance go up. So if we know the solution, why we won't do it? Because in a white racist society, you cannot inconvenience white women for the benefit of black children. The only reason why you still got public schools in Chicago right now, because you won't soon, but the only reason why you got some is because white women got bills to pay. The public school is a job bank for white women. That's all it is. If most teachers were black, Chicago schools would have been shut down a long time ago. They provide jobs for white women. That's the only reason why schools are still here. And they have to find a way to transition these women into other jobs so it doesn't affect them on election day. You can't lay off millions of white women all at one time. Somebody's going to suffer for that at the polls. Isn't it amazing? White women make a living off of miseducating your son, and then a white husband makes a living off of locking him up. Next time you go to a parent-teacher conference, ask the teacher, are you married to a police officer? Teachers are overwhelmingly married to police officers. Isn't it amazing that your son is suffering in the ghettos of Chicago, but his teacher and her police officer husband are living in Cicero, $250,000 a year household, $125 from miseducation and $125 from incarceration. And the third thing Willie Lynch said is what? Turn the black woman against the black man. He said, bring out all your Negro women and all your Negro children and find the biggest, meanest black buck you have amongst your male slaves. Beat him down in front of those women. Tar and feather him in front of those women. Disgrace him. And after you're done, don't kill him, pick him up. Tie one of his legs to one horse facing that direction, and another leg to another horse facing that direction, and beat both horses simultaneously until they run in opposite directions, splitting that Negro's body in two. Willie Lynch said, if you do this in front of the black woman, if you disgrace and humiliate her man in front of her, the respect she once had now becomes contempt. The security she once sought for the black man, she will now look down upon him or will not look at him at all for protection. The black man's supposed to be a provider. Black woman go right past him and be her own provider. His whole role in her community will be eliminated if you disgrace him enough. Guess what, black woman? The white man got a little experiment going on. He's overeducating and overemploying black women and undereducating and underemploying black women. Black women, this is not your fault. Brothers, black women are not to blame. But black women, one thing I need y'all to not do is buy into the white philosophical ethos that says the reason black men are unemployed is because they're lazy. Nothing could be further from the truth. I have a whole email list full of black men looking for jobs. You know how many black men text me, from Chicago included? Dr. Umar, you coming to town soon. If you know anybody hiring, brother, let me know. I will work for minimum wage. I don't want to go back to the street corner, but I got mouths to feed. And I can't stand to see my babies looking at me and I ain't got nothing to give them. If I don't find a job soon, I'm going to have to do what I have to do. You got brothers out here who work for minimum wage. They go to McDonald's and they get turned down at McDonald's because they got a record. They go to Burger King, get turned down at Burger King because they got a record. Oh, yes. And the white man had gotten he's intensified his black male unemployment campaign that now he just bring the Mexicans over and pay them less than minimum wage. They take up all the leftover jobs. See, you fail to realize that when they let you out of slavery, they decided that you would never rise again.
That's right.
And the best way to kill a people is to kill their economic vitality. Black woman, no matter how bad the black man is, don't you ever disgrace him or to talk about him to other women who don't belong to our community. And black woman, black man, don't you disgrace or insult our black women. Love and support the queens by all means. I know she might get on your nerves sometimes. That Christmas gift you bought her last night, she threw that shit. She said, this all I get for Christmas? I'm gonna sell your damn Social Security number at tax time and get my gift. She'll put your business in the street, you piss off. I know my sister. But guess what, black man? In slavery, when we got beat, it was the black woman who nursed us back. In Reconstruction, when they caught us before that noose around our neck took the last ounce of breath, it was that black woman who heard you and soothed you back to existence. During Jim Crow and Black Power, the black woman always had the black man's back. Black man, you can't get mad at a black woman who ain't going to trust, because one thing you need to understand about trust, it takes energy to do that. And when you're so used to taking care of kids by yourself, and even when you meet a good brother, she says, I want to cast my burden on your shoulder. But if I take this burden off my shoulder, if you can't carry it, it's going to take me 3 times as much energy to lift it back on your shoulders. So the black woman has to take her time before she gives you the load. Because let's be honest, black man, some of us ain't got the backbone to carry the load she been carrying. But black woman, when you find a man who says, I got that load. When you find a man who says, I've been here with you through thick and thin, year in, year out, and you still don't let me be the man I need to be in this home, you got to check yourself. Too many black women are losing good men because they won't give him a chance to show that he's God on earth. And there's another phenomenon I see played out now in the hood where some sisters' self-esteem is so low that when they find a real good black man, because deep down inside subconsciously she don't think she deserves him, she does things to sabotage the relationship. She spoils it on her own because she don't believe it's possible for a man of that caliber to be interested in a woman like me. Sisters, you got to understand, not all brother looking for a woman who got it all because he might already have it all. He's just looking for a woman who can do her job and nothing more. But some women feel insecure when a man can pay the bills and clean up the house and protect the children and check the homework, because your definition of womanhood includes you being a superwoman 24 hours a day. African culture is about balance. Half woman, half man. She leads sometime, we lead sometime. You ain't got to stand behind me, stand beside me, and let's walk at the same time. But the other big problem we got in Chicago is too many of us are dating for the wrong reasons. Most of us are looking for somebody to distract us from our own internal demons. Dating is a drug in the hood. If you can't find some weed or some cigarettes, just go date. And then when that person ain't good enough or sufficient enough to distract you from your own demons, guess what you do? You blame them for you being unhappy when your ass was already miserable before you met them. How many of you been in a relationship and you try to help your partner grow, and instead of them growing from your advice, they get mad at you for telling them what they need to improve on? I didn't date you to grow. I dated you to distract. And fathers, we got to fight like hell to be in our daughters' lives. Because when a girl ain't got that father or father figure, uncle, grandpa, cousin who ain't trying to get in her undies, if she ain't got that love, then she'll grow up looking for that love. You know why we got a teenage pregnancy problem in Chicago? Ain't because our teenage girls are hot. They're thirsty for masculine validation. The problem is most mothers can't find a man they can trust to be the father figure to the daughter without giving her that look that he gives her. We can talk about the Roman Catholic Church all day long with their molestations, but what about the ones in the black church? We can be just as sick as they are. How many black women have had to live a life of shame because the uncle who molested me still comes around, sits in my face, and everybody knows he did it, but I'm not allowed to say anything about it. That's the worst oppression of all. To have to look your oppressor in the face and act like he never did it. The same thing white folks make us do. I gotta look at you and act like I like you when I know you can't stand my behavior. I don't hate my lesbian sisters. I love all black women. I don't hate my homosexual brothers. I love y'all too. You're a little off, but you're still my brother. Transvestites, I'm trying. But what I understand, psychologically speaking, is the reason women go to women is because they get tired of getting beat on by men. Women go to women because they feel the love can be deep and decide to keep playing games with their heart. Women go to women because they've experienced so much sexual abuse from men that they don't think they can get love from the same source. I know why lesbianism going on. It got nothing to do with what the white man tell us. People are born this way. No, you're born that way then. I know why black boys go the way that they go. That's why they want me on January 8th. You're telling people, I don't need no report from no white doctor to tell me what I already know about my own community. Too many black boys being molested. Too many black boys being fatherless. And guess what else? Another trigger for homosexuality. It ain't the only path, but it's one path. Don't say I said it's the only. There's multiple. But one of them is verbal abuse. When a boy is constantly told he ain't good enough as a man, when his friends keep picking on, talking about something, you can't play football, you can't play basketball, your voice is too soft. The girls keep joking with him, his father keep condemning him for not being masculine and swaggerlicious. You start making him question his manhood. And instead of being the protection for a woman, he wants protection from a man for himself. There's rules to this game, y'all. And we got to define our own reality and stop letting white folks tell us what's good and what ain't. We decide what's good and what ain't for us. Right. We've been at it too long. And guess what? We got all the money we need to fix this. We got all the degrees. We got all the people with knowledge and wisdom. Our problem is not material resources. Our problem is psychological resources. $1 trillion people. 600 million on McDonald's every year. 4 billion on alcohol every year. You can fix this. But we need commitment. We need perseverance, persistence, and most of all, we need unity, brothers and sisters. Right. I was in the backstage a minute ago. My good brother, Captain Tazariak of the Hebrew Nation up in New York City just hit me up. He a good dude. We gonna link and do some stuff. Y'all know me and Sinetta done had our times. Lord have mercy. We might have more times coming. But I might link up with him and do something because to be who I am, it requires that I reach down and over to other brothers in the same light. It got to be me. That's what all the elders keep saying. It's you, boy. Maybe I go, you gotta do it first. So I'm gonna do it. We're gonna call a sit down with all the conscious leaders and talk about this. And black men, we got to learn to humble ourselves. Say, listen, if I messed up, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say I was that damn cute. Hey. And black men, we gotta get married too. We just can't keep dating forever. Can't be a serial monogamous. Too many serial monogamous. Raise your hand. Where my recovering serial monogamous at? Where you at, brother? You can admit it. Say, listen, brother, I'm a serial monogamous, brother. I'm 68. I ain't never been engaged, married, or nothing. Serial monogamous. As I prepare to close out with a couple of comments, brothers and sisters. Y'all see the slavery in Libya, right? Well, guess what? The white man knew that was going on. And guess what? Libya ain't the only place where it's going on. So why did the white man put the spotlight on Libya, but you skipped over Saudi Arabia, you skipped over Jordan, you skipped over Kuwait, you skipped over all these other nations that you know also trade in slaves? You know what the difference is? They have an agenda for Libya. They don't have an agenda for their allied Arab nations. Everybody knows Arab slavery. I was in Kenya last year speaking at Jomo Kenyatta University. That's all they talked to me about was slavery, one of the issues. White man been doing with slavery over there, but because he wants to invade Libya and make it safe for democracy again. You know, that's an excuse for everything. We need to make the world safe. Question of the night. Why does the white man love democracy so much? Because in a democracy, whoever spends the most money on their campaign, whoever has the best public relations campaign, especially in a so-called second and third world nation, will win the election 95% of the time. And since the white man got all the money because he done stole it from us by way of resources, he knows that if he financed a candidate in any African country, 9 times out of 10, the candidate he picks is the candidate who will win. That's why he loves spreading democracy. Africa don't need democracy. Africa needs development. Who the hell cares about casting a vote when your babies ain't got food to eat? Who the hell cares about casting a vote when you are homeless? Negro asked me the other day, why you ain't vote in the presidential election, Dr. Johnson? That was irresponsible. I said, I'll tell you what, my brother. I promise you I will vote in the next presidential election if I can vote away white supremacy. And if I can't vote away white supremacy, and if I can't vote away police injustice, and if I can't vote away systematic oppression and discrimination and bias against black folks, what's the purpose in voting? Because if voting don't eliminate my problems, all it does is endorsing the system that's whipping my ass. Does Dr. Johnson say we shouldn't vote? No, I didn't say that, Chicago. I said you should vote when you have a reason to and an option that is sufficiently acceptable to your conditions. But you don't let nobody run around Chicago and say your ancestors died for it. Your ancestors, you didn't even know my damn ancestors. That's a lie. Our ancestors didn't die for the vote. They died for freedom. Voting was the strategy in their lifetime that they felt was most likely to deliver the freedom. Stop confusing the tactic with the goal. Yesterday I was looking at a school in Chicago for FDMG, a nice one too, y'all. It's all right.
On your live?
It ain't brand spanking new on my live. Some of y'all was hating this shit, but I'm trying to figure it out. I had an elder tell me, they said, Doc, you are very interested. I said, why you say that, elder? He said, because you are the most loved person in our community and the most hated at the same time. He said, I've never seen this before. You get the most love and the most hate. But the school I seen in Chicago yesterday, we can afford it. So let me tell you what we down to. There's a school in Detroit. I need to see if that school is in better condition than the one I saw in Chicago yesterday. Okay?
We got 53.
Well, the problem with the 53 is this ain't no damn school, it's an ice cream scooper! The hell I mean? Listen, he came and opened the door to a school that ain't got no damn back on it! Wasting my damn Delta Sky miles on this shit. Some of y'all sent me some schools, all y'all who sent me schools, that's what I called. I called the realtor, all of them. Most of them never called me back. Because it's me. They Googled me one time and they said, shit, no. So now I got other people calling for me because I now understand they discriminate against me. Yeah. If they know it's me, it's over. Because no city wants me coming. I think the governor. Yeah. One love, one love. But listen, I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about the white folks. I think they be on my Instagram live too and shit. Rami Manuel, please. Detroit, Atlanta. This is the gay capital, no way. But those are my finalists: Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta. Now the advantage of Chicago is we can buy it right now. For Detroit is I got to write a request to the city to tell them how I'm going to use this property so they know that it's beneficial to its inhabitants. What kind of shit is this? I got the money for the damn school. Give it up. Now the sister in the back said something that I thought about. I said, looking at the Chicago price and looking at the Detroit price, is it possible to get both of them and shock the world? So I'm thinking about it. I don't know what my haters do. They have a damn heart attack. This nigga came out with 2 more. I hate eating my Tuesday. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell you, in all seriousness, these past 7 years of my life have been like nothing I've ever seen. I want to thank all of y'all who supported me thick and thin through the ups and downs. Can't thank you enough. And for you sideline brothers and sisters, my fair weather friends, I thank you too. I'm going to just pray for you because you ain't strong enough to ride 100% of the time. And for those of you who don't like me, once we get to school, I hope you can change your opinion. Some of y'all going to hate me even more. But I wasn't born to just be a good voice. My ancestor Frederick Douglass was one of the greatest. My teacher, who I never met, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, was probably the greatest. I don't know if the guy just being another good orator. We've had millions of them. We're going to have millions more. I'm the best of my generation. Say
that. Say it.
Forgive me. But I don't want to be that. I want to leave some institutions behind. It bothers me when I come to Chicago and New York City and Houston and LA, our top 4, Philadelphia 5, my city, and I can't find a black community in America where we own a bank, a hospital, a supermarket, and a school in the same 20 block radius. That's what a community is. A hospital to take care of the health of your people, supermarket to feed your people, school to educate your people, and a bank to finance the institutions that the people need. And let me be clear with y'all, Chicago. Let's say I end up here. The school is just the beginning. I'm not just coming here to teach. That's important. We need FD&G. We need to make men out of boys. But that ain't the only reason why I'm coming. We got a lot of work we got to do here. We got banks, we got the bill. We got supermarkets, we got the bill. We're going to start wherever I go. The operation ain't just education. This is Black Wall Street, damn it, all the way around. Understand me? Black Wall Street all the way around. All the way around. Now, if I look at the school I saw yesterday, we'll probably do 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade academy. And then we'll add a grade every year. So year 2, we'll go from 6th to 1st, and then year 3, we'll go from 7th to K, and then year 4, we'll go from 8th to preschool, and then we'll add high school after that, and then we'll expand it to the girls, because I don't want to leave these little sisters out either. They need that education too. Okay? That foundation. Because most of our boys start having psychological dropout around 2nd, 3rd grade because of how poorly they're treated by white women. In fact, I would argue that more black kids are child abused in school than they ever would be at home. More black children are child abused at school than they ever would be at home. See, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, we ain't going to be about just sending kids off to college. Every school in Chicago, college prep. We're at college preparatory, college prep. They need to change the damn name. It ain't college prep, it's debt preparation. That's right, y'all know what I'm talking about. Raise your hand, you got student loans up in here. I'm right up here too. I got 6 degrees, damn it, you know I'm in trouble. We can't just keep sending our kids to college, brothers and sisters, because college ain't producing no jobs.
Come on.
We got to teach our kids how to work with their hands, how to build business, how to invest. You don't need money for that. Did you know you don't need education for that. Did you know the top 1% richest people in the world never went to college? I'm going to say it again. Top 1% richest people in the world never went to college. And you black parents, some of y'all kids graduate in a few months. Congratulations to them, but please have a conversation with them. Because you paid $120,000 to send them to We Hate Black People University in Central Illinois. And your daughter come out magna cum laude with a damn PhD in grasshopper maintenance. I'm serious about that. Your son come out magna cum laude, Harvard University, earthworm reproduction. Who the hell looking for one of those? A damn earthworm freakologist. Who the hell looking for? Brothers and sisters, we got to give our kids practical school skills. Did you realize that up until 1950, your grandparents, my grandparents, didn't need college to live a comfortable life? I got grandparents who was what? Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, auto mechanics, barbers, bakers, welders, nice houses, good income. They didn't go to college. But then the white man came into Chicago in 1970. And he started shutting down factories, cutting out factory jobs, and going into the Chicago high schools. And what he doing in them high schools? Took out all the industrial building trade programs. That's right. 50 years ago, you ain't need no college degree in Chicago. You can leave straight from high school, licensed plumber, licensed carpenter, licensed electrician, licensed roofer, HVAC specialist, welder, mechanic, and take care of your family well. Open your own shop. They tell you your child got to go to college to make it in America, but they sending their kids to real estate school. They sending their kids to stock investment school.
Come on.
That's right. Can somebody please call LeBron and Oprah and say, listen, y'all, stop paying for black kids' college education and give them that damn money as a small business grant. Why is LeBron giving $200 million to a bunch of white colleges for? That ain't helping us, brother. Oprah Winfrey, I put 500 kids through Oprah, and they all broke and unemployed right now, Oprah. Listen, y'all, I'm serious. You got to ask yourself, should you spend $120,000 on a college education? Or should that be rolled over into a business for your child? That's the question before you. Because your child's child will be paying off that useless college loan debt. Can I ask you a question? Why they don't have a problem giving black people student loans? They don't have a problem giving black people college loans. They don't have a problem giving black people mortgage loans. But they got a big problem giving black people business loans. You want to know why? They'll give you a loan to go to school. They'll give you a loan to buy a Benz. They'll give you a loan to buy Oprah's house. Smack a variable mortgage on it. Give you one of those 40-year Frederick Douglass slavery emancipation mortgages. Somebody told me I got a 50-year Harriet Tubman home loan. I got a 75-year Ida B. Wells. You give me money because you know why they'll pay that biz, because they know you're going to be able to pay it off. And they know it's going to take you a long time to pay off the biz, long time to pay off that house. They'll probably repossess it with the damn redlining anyway. But business loan, that means I can finance your independence from me. Why would I do that? But you know what they do? They go around Chicago giving out what? They'll go around Chicago giving out $500 small business grant. What the hell are you going to do with that? Pretzel stand, water ice, Nah, ladies, Chico sticks. Listen, y'all get the biggest bank in Chicago say, Miss Shaquita Robinson has been given a $500 small. Now, mind you, they got $1 billion of black people money in that bank. But they gave her oh, Miss Shaquita, please tell us how thankful you are. That's why if I end up here, brothers and sisters, we got to start it unapologetically African Chicago Credit Union. Yes. Yes. That's right. We're going to build that money up, put everybody in the raffle. We pull you out. You're going to finance your business, but you got to return 15% back into the credit union so we can finance somebody else doing it. Y'all follow me? You have to sign a contract. 15% of the profit goes back to the credit union because you Negroes are selfish. Your ass will get rich, go marry a white girl, and move to the south. And speaking of marrying that white girl, black man, listen. And we're going to wrap it up. I'm so tired of you fake hotep with black men keep dating these white girls. Even in Chicago, y'all got white girls. How the hell you found one here? This is the most segregated city in America. That mean your ass had to run through 3 army brigades to get that damn done. Ain't no black man got no business with no white girl. And black men are mad at me for saying that. In fact, I think they're the main ones who called the State Board of Psychology on my ass. I had a black man threaten me. He said, "Nigga, when I catch you." What y'all black men need to understand, all due respect, the only white women you can date are the white women that other white men do not want. You get leftovers. And then you got a nerve to call black women gold diggers. Tiger Woods' wife was white. She a damn millionaire. When he met her, she was a housemaid. These white girls are taking these black men. Did you see RG3? Yep. RG3, ugly wife. God forgive me, but she was not cute. Listen, his career is over because Mike Shanahan put him back in the damn game before he healed. His white wife don't care that he broke. She's suing him for $26,000 a month for alimony, $26,000 a month for self-maintenance, and another $26,000 that he can't even afford it. Look what the white girl told Ezekiel Elliott when he got his ass suspended. She said, "You can tell them what I did. You black. They're going to believe me anyway, no matter how much money you got." Your brothers, when these white girls don't see your color, they know who you are. And when you ain't around, guess what? They calling you every N-word you can think about. And if your white wife is so loyal to black folks, if your white girlfriend is so loyal to black folks, can I ask you one question? Why the hell she never tell you what her people are planning to do to us next? I don't hate the white woman. I respect the white girl. I ain't interested in her, but I respect her. And you know what? They be trying to get at me too, because they know it's me. Go see. Just go see. Listen here, Becky. Your ass cannot cook at all. You have no shape, no balance. I said, listen here, Becky, let me tell you about the black woman. She got a shape on her that I know there's a God. If I didn't have religion, I'd find it after seeing her. You ever see a black woman, fellas, when she get her hair done, fresh out the hair shop? She put on them new jeans and them heels and that hand pocketbook, and she walk and try to act like she don't know she fine. Hey, Doc. I love black women. If it ain't nothing to eat in the kitchen, now you come home from work and ain't nothing but scraps. That black woman will go in that kitchen full of scraps and rip your ass up a cuisine meal from nothing. I love a black woman. I love her skin, I love her smile, I love her walk, and most of all, brothers, we better start loving her intellect. Because black women got something to contribute to this freedom struggle, brothers. We need to listen to that feminine energy. And black woman, as I wrap up, y'all, because I want to leave enough time for books, and I need y'all to support the vendors outside, too. They came from all over the country. And the art gallery we got, too. Excellent artwork here. But black women, I need y'all to work on something for 2018. And I want you to work on taking your femininity back that you have given away to the white female. The black woman has been brainwashed into thinking she got to be masculine to be equal to a man. You are my equal regardless, black woman. And you do not have to act like a man to be a strong black woman. That's the white woman's thing, not yours. See, in the feminist movement, I know why the white woman fought the white man. You know why she fought the white man? Because the white man told her she couldn't wear jeans. The white man told her she couldn't work. White man told the white woman she had to wear skirts. White man told the white woman you can't be a preacher, a teacher, a business owner. He controlled the society. And so he controlled her. But when a black woman say, I'm a feminist, the question becomes, what do black men control that we can systematically use to oppress black women? We don't own shit. So how are we going to systematically discriminate against you? Are there issues in the community? Yes. And black women have a right to hold us accountable. But don't confuse that with systematic discrimination against women. You got to have power to discriminate. We don't have that. Black woman, take your femininity back. Brothers, like a sister who's strong spiritually and mentally, but who has the energy and the aura of a black woman. Some of y'all go to college and y'all come back stronger than us. I opened a door for a sister the other day. I could do that for myself, Aki. I want to close with a story, y'all. And don't forget, parents, every Tuesday morning I have the Black Parent Teleconference every Tuesday morning. Cold. That's stepping outside could cause you to lose certain extremities of your body. And so these people didn't have no sun. They didn't have no fresh drinking water. They didn't have animals and fruit that hang from the tree because it was too cold for anything to grow, too cold for any animal life to even exist. So in order to survive, these ice people would have to eat the flesh of their dead. They would have to drink the blood of their dead. They would have to eat worms and insects and varmint just to survive. And because it wasn't enough to go around, these people developed an ice temperament, from where we get the word cold-blooded. These people would connive, they would steal, they would manipulate, they would orchestrate all kind of plans because it was never enough to go around. So they always thought they needed to have it all in order to have any. So these people felt that if there was any food, I need to take it all because there won't be none tomorrow. And because they couldn't trust each other because everybody was out for themselves, because everybody was hungry and dirty and homeless. A culture of narcissism and psychopathology developed amongst the ice people. And one day the ice people got tired of that damn ice. And they said, let's look for a better place to live. And so they came on down to the sun people's land. And they walked into the land of the sun and they looked around and they said, look at this shit. They got pineapples, bananas. He got bling bling on, diamonds, gold. But when the ice people came into the land of the sun people didn't reject the ice people. We treated the ice people like they were family. So the sun woman saw the ice woman and said, come here, baby. First of all, we want to shave this hair off of your nasty back. And then the sun woman said, listen, there's something known as a bra. We don't do this. And then she said, listen, once a month, you get a cycle. We don't do this either. We'll show you. And then she said, when you need to cook, you don't feed your children raw meat because it can have diseases in it. You got to cook that shit. And then the sun woman said, wait, you got to put some jerk sauce on that. And some Old Bay and paprika. And then the sun man saw the ice man. Said, damn, got to shave your hairy back. He taught him how to hunt. He taught them how to wash because they never used soap before. Why was Columbus looking for the New World? For spices. Because in Europe, they would just rub themselves in spices. They didn't wash. That's why they had the Black Plague. The Black Plague was funk. so the ice people say, we're going to take everything the sun people got. And so the sun people kept on giving the ice and giving the ice and giving the ice until one day the ice people owned it all. And the ice people still got it all. And the ice people trying to send the sun people to go live in the ice. You ain't got to hate white folks. But I need y'all to understand something as we close Chicago. You have a sun temperament. You like to care about people. You like to give to people. You like to love. You like to be in harmony with nature because nature always blessed you. Ice people don't know how to live in harmony with nature because nature did not bless them. So when you say, I believe in God, he say, shit. See, ice people feel they got to dominate nature because nature dominated them. So he wants to change the seasons. He wants to create diseases. He wants to manipulate the weather. He wants to clone animals. He wants to grow fake food that gives you cancer. Who wants to grow fake food when you got real food? Ice people do. And the Iceman ain't the only man you got to worry about. You got to worry about the Sandman. You know, your first slave master over there in the sand, he got a sand temperament. He used to sand blowing in his face and shit with no water to drink. So he's very aggressive. Sand people are aggressive and narcissistic. Ice people are aggressive and narcissistic. The only normal people are sun people. These are the type of lessons we're going to teach at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. And your son can still open the door for a white woman. She's still a woman. Open the door, but don't you dare ask her for her cell number. Why are we here? Why did God create black people? The purpose of human life is for you to create heaven on earth. You are here to prove that God exists. Listen, God ain't in Chicago. God is over Chicago, but God ain't in Chicago. Okay. God sent you to Chicago to make Chicago the heaven that his home is above. When you study ancient Egypt, what were they doing with those pyramids and temples? They found out now that the entire geography and architecture of Nile Valley civilization was based on the arrangement of the sun, moon, stars, and constellations. Why did our ancestors in Kemet go to a sea, pull out limestone, drag it 5,000 miles to the middle of a hot-ass desert, and build the greatest civilization on earth in the middle of nowhere? Because they was given a mission from God to make heaven on earth. And our job, black people, is to make heaven on earth. And we will continue to be mocked, ridiculed, killed, murdered, incarcerated, and treated like less than until we show the whole world that we know who we are. That we were sent here by God to make heaven on earth. Black power, Chicago, one love. I want everybody to do me a favor.
I am whole, healthy, wealthy, and strong. Power is in me, through me, and all around me. In this moment, I
got
have
the power,
the
my nigga. You got the power, my nigga. I got the power, my nigga. I got the power, my nigga. I got the power. I got the power, my nigga. Where is the power? I got the power, my nigga. Who got it? I got the power, my nigga. Where is it? I got the power, the power, the 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 power, the power, the power, the power, the I got the power, my nigga. I got the power, my nigga. I got the power, my nigga. I got it. I got the power, the power, the I need it. I got the power, the power, the I want it. I got the power, the power, the you want it. I got the power, the power, the power, the power, the power, the power, the I got the power, you feel it? 24 hours we living, every day, every second, and every minute. We living like we on a mission. Power
take it on a daily basis. It's my mission statement and my business statement. Written on the paper, written by the greatest. Do it for the babies, drive the haters crazy. We ain't worried about them cause the haters pay us. And if you a hater, you my inspiration. If you lost your power, this the reawakening. I got the power. Where is the power? I got the power. Who got it? Today, I want for you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention not just with your eyes, but also with your ears and with your instincts. I want you to pay attention, especially when you're receiving messages. Messages that may be in the media, messages that may be in movies, messages that may be from people that you know that are trying to convince you to do something. I want for you to pay attention to not just what they are telling you, but also to what they are not telling you. Keep your eyes open, your ears open, and your instincts ready. There's a lot of people that wants to put a spell on you, and you must make a decision. You're going to either let the world put a spell on you, or you're going to put a spell on the world. Either way, we cannot escape the spells in the world that we live in. Which side will you be on? If I want to talk about you making progress, the progress is going to start inside of you. You have to first make a decision to know that you are destined for greatness, that you are powerful, you're whole, healthy, and wealthy, and you have gifts, talents, and strengths. Now, you want to tune in with those strengths. Now, if you're not familiar with them, you want to look deeper inside, and then you'll become more familiar as you get to know yourself better. But you want to use those strengths, but when you use them, make sure you use them for the good of you and your community. Do not give away your greatness so that others can take advantage of it. This is what happens, especially when you see the messages in many movies. They show examples of people like you who are great, who are just giving their greatness away with nothing in return. So you have the natural energy inside of you. This is why you're more powerful. You are technology. You are not just physical, but you are.